Here are a couple of things to bear in mind while you're trying to shoot for a perfect score or an 800 on the SAT Math 2 subject test. So, my very first tip is don't be fooled. What does this mean? So basically 30%, or I think just a really large number of people end up getting perfect scores on the test, and everyone else does like pretty well, like in the high 700s. But don't be fooled by the really high cluster of perfect scores. This test is still pretty hard, and you do still want to devote a lot of time studying. I made the mistake of just writing on ACT math knowledge, and I paid the price the first time I took it. My second tip is to use practice tests plus reviewing mistakes. Obviously, before you do any practice tests, you're going to want to make sure you know the material, so probably pick up like a Barron's book, or I think the Princeton Review has some good review books as well. But when you're taking practice tests, make sure that you thoroughly review your mistakes, and also use practice tests that are official and previously administered. If you look up online, there's like a website that has, I think, 10 previously used practice tests. Just look up SAT Math 2 subject tests like in your browser, and you'll find those. But just make sure you use previously used practice tests as you practice. My third tip is to use the curve to your advantage. The subject test allows you to miss like 7 questions and still get a perfect score. So that means that you do not have to even spend time trying on like 5 or 4 of them. So when I was taking the exam, if I saw a couple of questions that I just had really no idea how to do, I just skipped past them and I was still able to get an 800. So use the curve to your advantage. That's why so many people get so many people get perfect scores, because the threshold for an 800 is so generous. There are about 60 minutes for 50 questions, and as you get to the end of the test, it starts getting pretty tough. So try not to use those like skip questions early on, but definitely in the later parts of the exam, know that typically you can miss 7 things and still get a perfect score. So don't fret about really not having any idea of how to do like a couple of the questions. You'll still be fine. So I hope these tips helped. These are 3 pretty important things that I employed in my studying to get a perfect score on the SAT Math 2 subject test. Good luck.